But it doesn't have audio anyway. That's good. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, you've gone through the plant. Julian has given you a tour. You've seen almost every section of the plant now. But I can understand it might be a bit overwhelming to get a better understanding of the flow of works. As I mentioned, we'll show you a 6-minute video that will walk you through the whole process again, so you can better understand the whole system. And this is just a visual animation, no audio. So, yeah. But Julian can provide some audio. You can audio. That's right. So that's yeah. So this is an animated representation of a cement plant. Those are the parking lines. So the assumption is a truck comes in and the truck is empty, of course. Having gone through the entryway bridge, meetings taken and stuff like that. This is the warehouse. Please come back. These are the parking lines. So parker line 1 feeding to 2 lines, parker line 2 feeding 2 extra lines, so 4 lines in total. Now this is coming from storage. So that's the storage, the silo storage outside. It then moves into a bucket elevator that picks the cement up all the way. It pumps it down or dumps the bucket of cement. You see, I told you about the head. So it pumps or drops the cement onto the vibrating spring, which shakes, cleans it, shakes. And only the fine ones go, the ones who cannot do it discharge through the tunnel. Then it moves on to another side. Like this is the production side. That one, on top of the packer. It has sensors in them that determines when the cement is getting low. So there's a sensor there. When it senses that the cement level is low, it tells the system to begin sending in powder. So as long as there's no production, the system will not pump anything. So there's no overflow, blah, blah, blah. Now the cement then gets into something called local control gate. Then it gets into the rotor packer, this guy over there. Now this guy also has a sensor level, that's the sensor level there. And it begins to pump the cement into a bag. Now this system that you see here is a fully automated. Our system is partial automated. Now the only difference here and with ours is that this one has the robotics shooting the bags. So you don't need 2 extra hands. We want to create jobs, remember. So this one, we've deployed humans to do that. But basically, what the human is doing is what the robot is doing there. Now the bag is loaded. When it gets to 50 kg, it drops into the DZATA, which is right there. The DZATA makes sure that the bag is sealed. It also cleans every dust. You can see there's a bit of dust. Now it sucks it out. Then the bag moves. It should have gone to a check weir.
We'll come back.
All right, it should have gone to a check weir to make sure that the bags are meeting the weight that it should be.
That's actually on the video.
All right, so I guess the video will get back to that.
Yeah.
There's a check weir in between the discharge. The check weir is what you see over there, the silver thing, to make sure that the weight is right. So that's the check weir. That is it. So it's making sure that the bags are between 49.50 to 51 points with a very narrow margin for error. So 49.95 is always 50. But when it's very low, the bag is rejected. So the system tells that, man, this one doesn't meet the standard. So it gets broken and it gets back, it gets shredded. Then it gets back into what we call the return screw elevator. We have something underneath this plant. Any dust that is collected, any spillage that happens, any bag that is broken, gets back into production. The waste is discharged and the powder gets back into production. Then
The waste being the paper bag.
the paper bag. So that's the paper bag. And the cement gets back into the screw elevator. The screw elevator sends it back and production goes on again. So there's quite a very little tolerance for waste with the plant architecture. So that's it basically. Thank you very much.
Okay. So basically, after this overview, one thing I would like to highlight is the plant, as you see, is 100% functional. You push the button today, it starts running. So the plant in itself, as you see now, is 100% functional. You put powder in today, you get a bag right away. Are there any questions that anyone might have at this point? We actually, good question. We actually have recently received a permit from the government to import cement powder to test run the system. So everything is a process. To bring the powder in to run it, you need a permit. We've gone through that permitting process. Government has granted us that permit to bring in enough cement to test run the system before we go into full-blown scale and production. Yes, with a permit to bring in 1.2 million tons of powdered cement to test run the system.
Any idea when you will start?
Timeline-wise, I am not 100% sure. Like I said, it's a process. The permit has recently been granted. Arrangements will have to be made for it to come in. We have a different team that handles that with the financing and everything. They handle that section. So from the plant operation and the construction point of view, I wouldn't have an answer for that.
You talked about 80% complete.
Correct.
20% what's left?
Well, when we drove in, we were walking on jets. So a bit of that 20% is getting the compound all paved up. A bit of it is the silo system that we have to put in place. Now the silo system, it's something that came in to save everyone stuff from funds. When the ship comes in with the powder, you have to siphon it out of the ship. Now where is all that going? A ship shows up, it's carrying 40,000 tons of cement. If you don't have storage, what's going to happen is you are going to siphon a little bit out to produce. The ship will go back to open waters and anchor and wait for you. When it's waiting for you, you're paying. You're paying good money for that. So we looked at the whole system, like I said. Maybe fortunately for us, we had other players in the game. And I did mention at the beginning that a lot of thought went into this before we broke ground. So we learned a lot of mistakes from some of our competitors next door and just further down the road. And realized that a lot of money is being lost. So in our system, we have incorporated these silos like that when the ship shows up, we siphon everything out of it, and the silos have the capacity to contain that, so that we can send the ship away without having to do unnecessary demurrage fees.
Talking about the raw material,
Yes.
talking about the fact that the 14 pounders, are you bagging the money?
We're bagging.
Why no money?
It's a step at a time. Eventually we'll get there. Absolutely. The sky is the limit. Well, in terms of job creation, a plant of this nature has a very wide ripple effect. You're looking at people working in a 24-hour plant. You have people working 24 hours a day, multiple shifts. It's not just the workers. You have people who are going to cook for the workers, alongside with the multiple shifts. You have the truck drivers who are going to distribute. You have tons of retail shops. So in effect, the job employment that has come out of one single plant is in the thousands. 5,000, 10,000, it's huge across country. It doesn't just stay in Tema. What is unique? Okay, so one of the unique capacity about DZATA Cement is that DZATA Cement is the only cement plant that has we have the maximum capacity compared to all the other ones as a single plant. Our production here is around 2.6 million tons a year. Our competitors are doing 1.2 and very small quantities. So in terms of, let me ask you a question. Do you go to a plant whereby you have to queue and wait for cement, or you go to a plant whereby you know they have enough capacity to produce a lot of cement? Right? Yeah. Okay. We have a little bit of an external tour to do with you as well, so my coordinator is asking me to take a break, do the tour. You might have more questions after that. So, yes. We'll get back to you again. Okay, guys, let's go down this way. Please. Sorry.